Hello, I am Todd Forrest, Arthur Ross Vice President for Horticulture and Living Collections at the New York Botanical Garden. 2020 has been a breathtakingly beautiful year at NYBG, and I have so enjoyed sharing images of spring's promise and summer's bounty in our previous journeys through the garden. Extolling the brightness and energy of spring and summer at NYBG feels natural, easy. There is just so much to catch our eye, so much to celebrate in these seasons of plenty. But for those of us who know and love the garden, for those of us who are here every day and every season, fall is what makes our hearts beat faster. Fall is when the whole garden sings. The Peggy Rockfeller Rose Garden is autumn's worst-kept secret at NYBG. After June's first rush of flowers, garden horticulturists cut the roses back hard, prompting them to rebloom in July. While the late summer and early fall displays are not quite as eye-poppingly intense as the garden's June peak, there is something reassuring and wonderful about the sight and scent of roses in October, November, and in years without an early hard frost as late as early December. In those years, the few roses that linger are echoes of the warmth and light of seasons past. Not all of the roses reflower in fall. Most species roses and heirloom varieties flower only once. It is the modern roses, the hybrid teas, grandifloras, floribundas, and landscape shrub roses that, thoughtfully deadheaded, flower continuously throughout the summer into fall. Roses like Cherry Frost, Parade, Lemon Fizz, Plum Perfect, Brick House, Soar Emmanuel, and thousands of others. If the rose garden awakens with fanfare on the eve of summer, it goes gentle into the good night of winter. Horticulturists stop deadheading the roses in September to allow them to store the energy they will need to survive winter's cold and emerge again next year. A rose garden in winter is a place of memory and a promise of things to come. Thanks to great design and great gardening practices, the perennial garden gets more and more beautiful as the year progresses. Every thoughtfully chosen and carefully tended tree, shrub, annual, perennial, and grass plays its part in a symphony of color, texture, and form that reaches a crescendo as days shorten and shadows lengthen. There is an unexpected profusion of fall flowers in the perennial garden. The autumnal oranges, reds, yellows, and purples of Korean chrysanthemums, asters, zinnias, and sages are complemented by the brilliant white starbursts of anemones and the dainty salmon petticoats of tender Chinese lanterns, which are displayed in containers. The omnipresent reminders of flowers past fill out the composition. The ordered ranks of astilbe seed heads, the diaphanous spikes of grasses, the bristly orbs of Gomphora carpus, a milkweed relative, and the saturated sterile florets of various hydrangeas engage in a call and response with the late arriving flowers. Every plant in the perennial garden must contribute. The trees and shrubs do double duty in fall. They provide structure and scale while adding depth to the autumn color in the garden. The trunks of white-barked birches frame the view. The fall foliage of Japanese maples, smokebush, hydrangeas, alternate-leaf dogwood, and dozens of other woody plants add luster. An autumn stroll through the perennial garden is an engaging journey through the pleasures of great plants, great design, and great gardening. Pete Oudoff is celebrated for creating gardens that echo the natural progression of the seasons from spring through fall. Rose and Seasonal Walk is no exception. It is a study in the masterful use of flowers, form, and foliage to create long-lasting effect. Autumn flowers abound in Seasonal Walk. Fall is the time to enjoy the spotted purple and white petals of toad lily, the bluish-purple bursts of aromatic aster, the tall white spires of bugbane, and the shining discs of Japanese anemone. Midnight Dancer and Nicholas dahlias dotted through the border provide welcome bursts of burgundy and apricot. But these exclamations of color are balanced by the arching stems of moorgrass, the flat-topped seed heads of golden lace, the billowing golden clouds of Arkansas blue star, and the tawny foliage of New York ironweed and other stately perennials. The intricate rhythms of Seasonal Walk are best appreciated by taking a slow stroll down its central path, enveloped in the abundance of a garden passing gracefully into its winter slumber. Embraced by the towering fir trees of the Ross Conifer Arboretum, the Home Gardening Center is where we cultivate gardening inspiration as well as plants. The Central Plant Trials Garden and adjacent model gardens are filled with autumn delights. In fall, the grass garden is a highlight of the Home Gardening Center. Here, visitors can make side-by-side comparisons of ornamental grasses, which seem to glow in the low autumn sun. Some might prefer the broad hummocks of tufted hairgrass, while others the foxtails of fountain grass or the gauzy pink haze of muhly grass. This year, we grew dahlias in the summer garden, which continued to amaze until fall's first frost. From the towering islander, 8 feet tall with flowers the size of dinner plates, to the pom-poms of brown sugar, to the anemone-flowered rockstar, apparently a favorite of lepidopterids. Bands of blue mealycup sage tie the diversity of dahlias together. Elsewhere in the Home Gardening Center, curators displayed a variety of annuals, perennials, tropicals, and trees and shrubs, each chosen to appeal to home gardeners with diverse skills, tastes, and inclinations. The Steinhart Maple Collection spreads across 5 acres on a sun-drenched knoll overlooking the Rockefeller Rose Garden and Nolan greenhouses. There are nearly 120 different kinds of maples from across Asia, Europe, and North America planted here. There are stately shade trees with spreading canopies, trees with slender pendant branches that kiss the ground, and diminutive varieties with dense tufted foliage held tightly to the stems. These diverse maples share one common trait: beautiful fall foliage. There is a kaleidoscope of color in the maples. The coarse leaves of Acer japonicum yamakaji show notes of burgundy and orange. The coral-barked sangukaku Japanese maple turns a yellow as bright as the sun. An ancient Acer palmatum is amber, yellow, green, and red all at once. The afternoon sun passes through the finely dissected leaves of Acer palmatum koto no ito, casting lively shadows on the smooth gray trunk. Backlit, the leaves of the maples seem electrified. The great diversity of maples in the Steinhart collection creates an extended fall foliage season that begins in early October and, if hard frosts hold off, can extend into December. During this magical time, even the fallen leaves feel like part of the show. Designed to celebrate the beauty and diversity of plants native to northeastern North America, the native plant garden is perfectly in sync with the seasonal rhythms that have shaped the flora of our region over the millennia. The shortening days and cooling nights of early autumn catalyzed nature's most anticipated alchemy: the transformation of mature oaks, maples, tulip trees, and other native species from quiet green sentinels into cumulonimbus clouds of gold, crimson, and orange. On the landscape scale, the transformation is grand, but every individual leaf is a work of nature's art. While many of the herbaceous plants in the native plant garden make a quiet transition into dormancy, some are at their showiest just before winter's cold sets in. The bright bluish-purple flowers of aromatic aster in the meadow are a boon to late-season pollinators. The white spikes of lady's tresses, a native orchid, brighten the bog, perhaps enticing unsuspecting insects into the clutches of the nearby pitcher plants. Although not as eye-catching as the fall flowers and foliage of their native plant garden cohabitants, the seeds of goldenrods, grasses, and other meadow plants are staples for the birds that reside in the garden all winter. Even the withered stems of dormant forbs, ferns, and grasses in the meadows, wetlands, and woodlands provide essential cover for the non-human denizens of the garden. Oaks are the last trees to change into their autumn finery. The rich tannin content of their leaves makes them less bright than other species, but their sheer numbers at NYBG make them a sight to behold. And of all the plants here, oaks provide the greatest benefit to the birds, insects, and mammals that make the garden hum. We strive to make the New York Botanical Garden a place of serene beauty amid the constant action of the surrounding city. We act constantly to make it so. When we need to find a place to slow down in the gaps between our toings and froings, we head to the Thain family forest and just breathe. It is the timelessness of the forest that gives us peace. The sense of an unbroken chain of growth, decay, and regrowth extending beyond human memory. The autumn sun's rays slant through high-up branches to illuminate a patch of ground carpeted in years' worth of fallen leaves. Leaves that have drifted, pushed gently or roughly by the breeze, and landed with no sound at all. Autumn in the forest threatens to rouse us. All of that color, all of that clear light, all of that wondering if today is the best day of all to be there. But then we remember why we are there. To idly watch branches swaying. To catch a glimpse of an industrious chipmunk. To hear a hawk's cry rise above the dull din of commerce that just now feels very far away. We don't resent the city's constant presence. The omnipresence of urban sights and sounds adds immeasurably to the magic of the forest. The forest is a sanctuary within the city, not away from it. The forest is just as much of New York as Midtown is. That is its greatest miracle. Thank you for all you do to support the New York Botanical Garden, and for joining us on this journey through our magnificent autumn landscape. Frost came to the garden in mid-November, signaling the beginning of the end of fall, and winter waits on the horizon. For most, winter at the garden is about the warmth and light and lushness of the incomparable Indedeha Conservatory, an antidote to the cold and snow. But winter outside at the garden has its own quiet beauty, well worth celebrating. We look forward to sharing it with you next year.